Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1 and 2 and 3. All right. Start. A lot of times I do not get to do this part. I'll make sure I do it today. Good morning, Lori. Okay. So this week has been a roller coaster. Um, it's been a fun week, but it's definitely been a roller coaster. I've had horrible dealings with my ISP, my internet service provider, and I've had outages back to back. So I tried to trade while I was away from the house for the most part. It's a green week, but the green week I got paid on stupid. I got paid on stupid yesterday because I was stupid. Um, I mean that's all I have to say about it yesterday. But it was green. But man, the swing was crazy. I did record the footage though while I was out. Um, and I'll pop that up here soon. But today, we had a couple of movers. We had EFTR, which was up 100% just a couple seconds ago, above $1, and it's already lost 20 cents. It has breast cancer news, so there may be one to keep on watch for the future. But since it's already going down so much, usually breast cancer news doesn't slow down that much. It just goes up and up and up and up. Um, but interesting little stock. But since it's below $1, I'm probably not going to touch it. Yesterday, what I was trading was BMR. And so BMR, man, BMR kind of did me dirty. I saw it, and actually, let's look over here on the daily chart. So I marked these levels, right? These levels, this was the obvious level that I marked down here on BMR, which was a $4 level. I was like, okay, the $4 level is a obvious level. I got baited in way above this because what I was doing, since BMR's news was tied, or not tied to, but was very directly correlated with Nvidia. As Nvidia rose, I was like, okay, this stock being so correlated with Nvidia, could this thing go if Nvidia goes up? And so, speaking of Nvidia, let's bring that monster out here. Nvidia on yesterday was, I mean, well, even in the pre-market, it ripped. I mean, this thing gapped from 300 all the way up here to almost $400. Let me pull it up on the other Nvidia. So let's jump over here. So Nvidia yesterday, and I mean this thing, I really thought this thing could get going a little bit more. But I guess you could say it was extended from the 304 up here to the 380s. And what I was looking for on that day is Nvidia started holding here at 378. And I was like, okay, I think that BMR can follow Nvidia's move upward. So I started buying BMR as Nvidia started going up. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait and see. And BMR just would not give me any play, no play at all. So let's go ahead and look at that video. I kind of started the video late. I had already did a entry of like 80 by the time, but you're gonna see there's plenty of videos still left on this. But this was the entry, the original entry as Nvidia was breaking over 381s. It was still red on the day though, so I was like, okay, it's very close. If this thing can push up, this could be good. So I'll kind of fast forward through it. And so this thing kind of started dropping. And also pay attention to the shares. Pay attention to the shares and maybe the P&L. Cause yeah, I was definitely in a jam. But I was looking at it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a little size around VWAP. If it doesn't work out, okay, it's just a little size. But then I had to remanage the position. So let's go ahead and fast forward through this. Drop down here to the 575s. I was like, okay, 575s looking good. I added at the 575s there, and I am adding on limit orders because I've found that I make more money when I control where I buy and where I sell. So I'm doing limit orders. If they don't feel, I just, I don't care. I just leave it alone. But 575, I bought there, and it popped all the way back up here to 6, right? So this is my original entry, 615 here, 80 shares. Popped down. I bought this little dip. It popped back up. I was like, okay, here we go. So I had 100 shares here waiting for a move up. It just played and played. I added a little bit more because I was thinking, okay, this has come down to this level twice. It's 537, and then it made a higher low, and it's just playing right under the 6, right? And so I was like, okay, just waiting. Got a little push up. I added, had 119 shares there, adding very small size, and then it came back down. I was like, what in the world's going on? So I added a little bit more on that dip, waiting for it to get through this top of the $6. Right? At this point, look, 128 shares, 129. I was adding very slowly as well. I wasn't jumping in full, trying to get full size or nothing, because it was playing around a lot. And so when it broke this bottom here, 570, I think it was like 570, and popped back up, I was like, okay, here we go. And again, this thing just would not give me any movement through that 6. So I had 194 shares at right under the 6. And it started to drop on me. And it dropped a lot. So at this point, I was like, okay, I added on this drop, right? Added around 5. Added around 5. And I actually averaged down a lot. So look at my shares. I got 400 shares and I'm adding around 5. I was like, okay, whatever. And yeah, so I kind of stopped adding around there, had 700 shares, averaged down, down 28 cents from the start. And what did it want to do? What did it want to do? Well, you guessed it. It wanted to continue to drop here. And now this thing is pausing. Give me 1 second. Okay, there's the drop. So it continued to drop there. I added again on this secondary drop. And at this point, it was what, 470 down, 33 cents on BMR. I was like, oh my gosh, I am eating dirt. But after this drop, I was like, hold up. Where was the bottom on the day? And I remembered that the bottom or the obvious support was at $4. I was like, okay, I'm just going to hold this thing, let it test 4. If it breaks 4, I'm just going to get out. And so guess what it wanted to do? It came down and tested the obvious level. So continue. There's the 430s all the way down to the 435s where you can see this support down here all the way down to the 416s, and I still held. And I was like, and if you look at the P&L is definitely in the pain area. I was talking to Donnell. I was like, yo, I'm down like $1,000. And he was like, yeah, man, you might want to use the scissors. I was like, nah, it's in the obvious level. I'm going to hold it. And so it popped here, popped back up. I was down 800 on that pop. Kept popping up. I was looking to get back to where I had averaged down to, which was the 516. And I was like, yo, if this thing gets past 516, I got to be out of here. So it played around here. I saw some pretty good sizes come in at the 432s, and I was like, okay, I'm pretty good. And then I looked over here on the hour chart, and I saw this candle had quite a bit of support, a support bounce here back to the 475s. I was like, okay, I think I'm good. And so I held, and I said I had my stop. That's when I was looking at Nvidia. Nvidia was curling on this, and I was like, okay, if this thing rips, this could be very good. And this is what Nvidia's 4 hour looked like. It just looked like all it needed to do was get through the 400s, and it could not do it. So I was like, okay, we'll just continue holding. If it breaks down, at this point, my stop was right under this four. I think that was like 412 was the stop. And I was like, okay, if it just holds here, I'm gonna be okay. And so gave it a little bit more time. Gave it a little bit more time. At this point, down 800. Gave it more time, and it started to pop back up and return to my entry, right? And so up here, I was down $10 now, and this is when I was up 72 bucks. But the thing is, the initial shares that I bought up here at the 6 were still at a loss. So no matter what profit I had, it was minus that loss, right? So I started selling when I got back up here to break even, which was 516. It's at the 505s now. And I was putting in stop orders. And then I was like, no, I'm going to start limiting out of this. And so at this point, I'm up 143 right there. And I'm looking to sell out of this thing. And the way that my shares sell out is it's tax based. So whatever's the best for tax. So it sells the shares for a loss first to get those out of the way, and then it starts to accumulate the win. So I was up 143 right there, minus whatever, and then I waited a little bit longer, looking for it to got up to the 532s, had 210 in pocket, and started to trim up here. There was 200. And where's my trim? I think that was the first trim I just did at somewhere up in here. Okay, yeah, now I'm trimming. So now I'm down to 588 shares. But remember, my profit is minus the loss. So when you look up here at today's net realized, it's gonna be calculated. But my unrealized is 167. And so I had 338 shares left. And just reducing that size, I had at that point locked in 57 bucks. And then I was all out there for 92 bucks. So it was around $100 win. But Jesus Christ, when I told Donnell I was sweating, bruh, I was sitting there. You know when you sweat so much that your socks are soggy. That was that point. So what I realized is I broke one major rule that I usually do not break. One, I don't trade near the VWAP because the VWAP is the stupid line. And I was watching Nvidia do its thing, and I was like, man, well, maybe the VWAP's not gonna matter. I'm just gonna buy here and let it follow Nvidia, right? But it didn't work out. So if I waited for it to dump away from VWAP here, away from this $6, and waited for the obvious level of $4 with that thousand shares that I took, 1,300 or whatever, it would have been a beautiful trade. From even if I started a small starter position down here at right around the 510s instead of up here at the 6s, would have been a beautiful trade there. And a nice little rip out. But it's whatever. It's a learning experience. All I was trying to do was get out at the end of it because I was like, okay, I was wrong. Let me manage this position. Let me not, because there was a lot of shake in the bottom of it. It was just shaking people out. And I was like, you know what? Let me just not overreact. Let's just take our time and manage the position. If it does want to get exponentially lower, I'm getting out below the 4 because the 4 over here on TOS, the 4 was definitely a spot. Wait, no, not BMW, BMR. The 4 was definitely a spot that I did not want to see it back below right here. So 398 was that top, and I was like, yeah, if it goes below that, I'm out. So I held through that and yeah, squeezed out a little green day, but man, I count it as a loss because what I try to do is one trade. I only need one trade. And if I only need one trade, I need to be right on that one trade and follow my rules and not be buying right beside the stupid line, wondering why this thing is dumping. You know, it's the stupid line. And I was stupid enough to get baited in following the reaction of Nvidia. And Nvidia did get up. That's the thing. It broke over the 81s, broke over the 85s, broke to the 390s. And I'm like, why isn't BMR getting up? It's on the same catalyst. Matter of fact, Nvidia's in its catalyst news. So why isn't it getting up? So yeah, it's one of those things. You learn, you live and you learn. But whatever. Back over to the regular market here. We got ELEV, ONFO was up there. Those are under $2. I'm really just staying away from under $2. Their supports and resistances are very weak. They can throw big wicks through the support and resistance. Even though it is support and resistance, the wick is so much, people kind of get shaken out because of the pain of the wick. Especially when they play the mind games, because the mind games are this. It's a cheaper stock. It's $1 stock. It's a $1.75 stock. You can buy a lot. The problem is when you overextend yourself into the trade and then it starts to go against you. So, you got 5,000 shares, 8,000 shares, 10 cents is $800. So 10 cents in the opposite direction, and that 10 cents may not be recovered at those lower levels, So it's all a learning experience. But yep. Let me read some of these. I see Reliable Rudy's in the house. I see Lori. So Lori said you didn't buy it at 420. That's more of a trade, a half trade. Yeah, 420 would have worked if I was patient enough to get. No, I bought some at 420. Did I? No, I didn't. I didn't buy at 420. I was in most of my position at like 475. I think 475 was the best prices that I got, but it continued to drop. But it's whatever. I'm waiting for next week. Next week, a lot of news is dropping about what the U.S. is coming to for the debt ceiling. June is also the month that all of the student loans and things are opening back up. So I guess watching payment method stocks and tickers may be something that you would like to do. I was looking at SoFi, PayPal, Square. I was looking at a couple of payment systems just to see, because it's looking like not only that they're going to be reinstating the student loans, but they're actually working on a plan that is going to be reinstate all the months of missed payments. So basically, all of the interest, all of the months of missed payments, I think since 2021 or something like that, they're going to be reinstating it. But that's a law. It hasn't been put into stone yet. It's just something that they're trying to get done, which is probably going to cause some problems across the board when people find out, oh boy, not only do I have to start paying back, but now I have to pay back the back interest for the back months that have passed. So yeah, it's about to get real. And then with this debt ceiling, if they end up defaulting on the debt ceiling, either raising it or finding another solution, I'm thinking taxes are gonna go up. Because if the debt ceiling is defaulted on, first of all, the money system or the money that we owe is so big. The debt that we owe is so big. It's just I don't even know what to say about it. But to default is really kind of like another breaking of the faith, because most money is not just backed by, well, our money definitely isn't backed by gold or anything, but it's majority backed by your word too, what your word stands for, what values are behind your word. And defaulting on a loan is like being a bad borrower, right? So every single month, every single year, we've been bad borrowers. Would you lend money, or would you trust the word of a bad borrower? What is the US's credit score? Is basically what I'm saying, you know. But it's just weird times. We're gonna see what they want to do, man. Reliable says he traded ELV, and it is pumping up. It's got 10 million shares on the board. It is leading the day with above $1, so definitely above $2. 24. Let's go look at those. What is the float on this one? ELV. Okay, so statistics, float looking like this is, and this was a breast cancer one. And this is what I was thinking. The breast cancer ones, or was this the one? No, no, no. The one that went back below $1 was a breast cancer one. It was like ELTR or something like that. What was it? EFTR, this one. God, that thing fell a lot. That thing was over $1 for like a split second. But see, I don't like that. If it's got breast cancer in it, breast cancer rips, bro. Rips. And that's not what we want to see. But ELEV, I don't really see any news on the day for it, but it's definitely getting some attention. Let me see what kind of stock this is. What do they do? It is biotechnology, healthcare sector. Elevation Oncology, an oncology company, focuses on the discovery and development of cancer therapies to treat patients across a range of solid tumors with significant unmet medical needs. The company's lead candidate, EO 3021, an antibody drug conjugate designed to target Claudin 18.2. Okay, so has a license, developed, whatever. So it was called 14er Oncology Inc. and changed its name to Elevation Oncology Inc. in February 2020. The company was incorporated in 2019 and is based in New York, New York. Right. Well, what obvious levels does it have to come down to? And not only what obvious levels does it have to come down to, but what news is going to be worth it getting bought back up. Right now it's having a hot little pre-market, but pre-market is a little bit iffy. We won't see the real what people are feeling about it until the open. Let's see. And it's got a bottom down here. It curled off of the $2. Ah, very interesting. Only it's up 82% on flow. Let's look through some of these news catalysts here. MRVL, Ford, social media, social buzz, Wall Street's bets, PDD, QH. And we are going to have a long weekend as well. So it's going to be Monday is going to be Memorial Day. And people are going to be out barbecuing and all that. And then some people are going to still be trading, doing forex and all that stuff. So I'm just going to lay back and chill. It's been an okay month. I missed a couple of trading days due to internet issues. I try to trade when I'm away from the house. Try to trade on some better networks, because man, AT&T's been having some issues out there in Dallas. They It's crazy. How does Dallas affect me? I don't know. They're talking about, oh, it's a tower out. I'm like, okay, well, get the tower fixed there. Does that affect Mississippi? I mean, why does that affect me? But it's okay. They've been throttling and doing all that. And the issue that I've been having is my download speed. So let's say for my especially during midday, like around like after 9:30 or something like that, like around 10 when I usually like to take trades, um it's like my time and sales disappear and my data stops updating, it just sits still and I lose connection. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be in a trade while it's doing this. Especially not with, 3,000, 4,000 shares on something like that's cheap, like a $2 stock or something like that. And then I get back on or I try to go in on my phone and it's really hard to manage the position. So all in all, this has been a green week, has been a green month. So I'm glad that I'm finishing up green with all the things that have happened. I only had 2 red trades. I took 6 trades this month, I believe. Let's go look. Let's go look and see what I got here. I think, where's my, oh boy. Where is, and now I'm losing things. Come on, bro. Don't lose connection right now. See, this is what I'm talking about, bro. I can't trade here. So lost a little bit of connection right there. Let's see if I can go to my trades though. I use TraderSync as my trade thing. And so yeah, I took what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades this month. I had a kind of a bigger loser on the first week of the month, and then I had like a 44, and some of these I just kind of cut out of. But in these last 2 weeks, the internet has been horrible, and I've been like, bro, it's whatever. So I just haven't been able to take as many trades. I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 last month. Little bit better month, but of course, we just let it live. So ELEV still pushing up though. Let's check BAM SEC for what's out here. ELEV. See if it has any kind of shelves or anything. So EVLE does have, that's a EV, whatever it is. ELEV does have shelf registrations from last year, end of last year. So we'll see what it wants to do today. Has no news behind it, for real. All right, market is about to open. ELEV is pretty much the only thing that's up right now. So we'll watch that one and see what it wants to do. Pushing on up there. Let's start identifying levels on the daily chart. I'll give it the first couple of minutes and then identify levels here on the daily chart. See how big this range is going to be. Right now, it has a ATR of 33 cents. So about 33 cents per 15-minute candle. My ATR is calculated from the last 27 15-minute bars. So if you count back 27, that's pretty much where it ends. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So And the way that it's calculated, it's a weighted calculation. So the closer it gets to the actual the current bar, the more weight it holds. All right, on flow, getting a little pop up there, up 11%. On flow, what was your news there? On flow launches a generative artificial intelligence. So it's an AI catalyst. Let's bring that over here. OnFlow completes development of generative AI search tool for Mighty Deals, or FOT. I don't know what FOT is. Maybe that's a typo. Oh yeah, they cleared it up. For Mighty Deals. So another AI type deal. It may continue to grind higher. We'll have to see if anything else comes and competes with it.